Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. I hope you're doing awesome. I want to just show you how to baste some different hexy shapes. I know they're all a little different and they all have some quirks. This right here is of course an equilateral triangle. And you know, I always go through and I finger press each side. It kind of holds it in place on the paper. And then I'll fold and press and wrap that little tail around. And what that does is it makes a nice sharp point. So that's really good when you're working with diamonds, half hexies, anything with that tail. So here I am, I'm going through just the fabric above the paper. So see when I let go of that tail? So I'm gonna do the same thing here. And you get pretty quick at it after a while. That fabric just wrapped around. There we go. See, I do 2 stitches on each corner with these. And there goes that tail again. And you want to keep the tails wrapped in the same direction so that when you put these pieces together, the tails will fit together as well instead of overlapping on each other. So there's one shape done. Of course, I've already done another one of these triangles, so you can kind of see that they nestle and they're actually going to make a circle when they're all done. So there's that. Let's see, for our next shape, let's do the square. Square is kind of tricky. You see I've already finger pressed this. Now when you fold this, this wants to overlap and go outside the edge. And that's fine, you just have to remember that when you're basting these pieces together, that you have that edge to be aware of. So same thing, just through the fabric, not through the paper. Now I don't know if you guys are aware, but I do have a Facebook group. It's called Learn to English Paper Piece. And I love it when you guys go on there and share progress of things that you're working on. Now we do have some sew-alongs that we do as well. There is a place where we share different patterns in the files. And I show different techniques on how to cut your pieces, different ways to help design your patterns. So anyway, I hope that's helpful. So here we go, now we've got our square done. And it is kind of funny because that last one is wanting to be a tail, and that's fine. We're just going to remember that when we put those together, we're going to hold that out of the way. So if we were to put these two together, we would just fold that down out of the way when we stitch it. So now I've got some squares done. Let me show you next a diamond. This one I did not finger press yet. I really like to finger press. It really holds those points in place. So a couple of stitches. Got that tail wrapped around. I do a couple of stitches there. I am not going through the paper on this. And just make sure to wrap that so the tail is going the opposite direction. And finish that one off. So there's that one. Okay, so next, let's see. Why don't we do the hexagon? I know you guys have seen hexagons, but maybe you haven't. So this one's already finger pressed, and I'm just gonna do the same thing. This is probably one of the easiest because you don't end up with tails anywhere. You just wanna make sure those points are really nice. You wanna make sure that you wrap it snug, but not so tight that the paper bends. where you can see that's very straightforward. This is probably the shape that you learned on. Hey, and if you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe. It doesn't cost anything to become a subscriber. If you turn your notifications on, then you will know every time a new video is released. You will get notification. So there you have it. There's the hexagon. The one that I have left over here is the jewel. Now 2 jewels together make a heart shape. It might be one of my favorites. Now you've got 2 long sides. I actually like to start after the long side so that I don't actually baste through both long sides. It just seems like a waste of thread to me. So I start there. This is just like doing the hexie around the top of this jewel. To me, it looks like a diamond ring shape. So sometimes I mess up and I call it a diamond, but it is definitely a jewel. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave those. I do answer all of your questions. Okay, so wrap it around. Now, since this is a really long side, I'm gonna go ahead and just baste my thread through it. You don't have to, but you can. Got my tail nice and snug behind, out of the way. And there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Happy sewing.